that has 2 grade levels without threatening anybody's band space.
Let me just make one last point.
Yes, it is a guarantee.
The purpose of the charter schools in general is to help a declining district, correct? In general, that is the purpose of charter schools. Declining district, declining grades.
First of all, let me say a couple things. This is one of the most successful school districts in New York City.
Why do we need a charter school?
Be very clear about that. That doesn't mean that, remember, you're talking about tens of thousands of kids. That within that tens of thousands of kids, there isn't some family, and there aren't some families who say, I want something different. And it is our obligation to listen to that, no matter what the quality is.
That's divisive. You're multicultural.
Right up here, please.
Thank you. He didn't hear that.
I really do agree with the gentleman in the back that you need to research why we have declining enrollment. Going into this, it's so pivotal. We have a huge middle school in our district. We're a multicultural neighborhood. We love it. We invite all groups. We have been our district has taken in kids when you were building your new charter schools. We have been there for the mayor where you put all your resources and your money into all the other districts and closed buildings and bought real estate and did it over. And you did it to some degree on the back of our high-performing district. And now, for years now, our budget's getting cut. Our middle school, we have problems at the middle school level. We're working so hard to bring the grades back up. We know the issues academically with 278 and also that it's a pearl. You know, the mayor cannot expect us to sit around voiceless forever on this issue. Like, I think that the reason we may not budge on this is simply the respect issue. You didn't include us. You went about this and you did do your research, because every charter school has years of research. They're well thought out. That's why you have a job, and we respect that. But you went about this with a philanthropist who has many resources. And he planned this and went ahead, and he excluded our voices. He excluded our interests and our needs. And you have been listening to parents in all the other districts for years now. You didn't do that for us. That's number one. Number two, Mr. Steinhardt will find another location, and you know that. You know as easily as we do that that man can find another building. We should get our cut of the resources. Our building should continue to flourish. You should not take advantage of a school that is making you look good and is riding on a wave, and you're over here chipping away at it for years. You know what I'm saying? And this proposal is going to fail because you cut us out. You didn't show us respect. You didn't come to us. You didn't say, do you want a performing arts high school? Do you want a math and science high school? What are you lacking here? You got this, you got that. You're a taxpayer, you're in a good neighborhood, and you're a shining star, and we want to keep you that way. And when I say shining star, do we not have children from all over District 22 going to our school?
Yes.
We are multicultural there, and it's a beautiful thing. And you guys took it for granted, and that's why we're mad, and that's why you're not going to get the
And I appreciate your comments. I mean, let me say this. Neither I, nor the Chancellor, nor anyone else has meant, and I come here this evening to exactly in this spirit, to disrespect you. And I recognize you feel that way, and I apologize. Understood. But I want to say that. I want to say this. Absolutely. And I guess what I want to say is, I think probably, you know, it sounds like your principles are my principles, and probably those of everyone in the room. And I'm sorry that it has come to this. You know, at the same time, I'm sure those are the principles of the young people and the parents who want to send their kids to the Hebrew language school, who want to send their kids to the high school, the arts high school. And, you know, it is our job to say, those are taxpayers. They're invested in this too. And the question is, what's the impact of this, is it the right thing to do? And that's what we're assessing.
We're taxpayers also, and voters.
Right here. Yes.
I have a proposal. The Amity School, their lease is up. It's on Hendrickson Street and Botlands Avenue, where 207 sends their K through 3rd grade. That would be a great place to put little children. And I also I want to know, you mentioned about a high school. The local high school is very far away from, I don't know what high school you're referring to. Could you tell me what high school you're speaking about that's in our area or our zone school? You know, about 4 years ago, it didn't matter that Madison was busting out of the seams with 4,500 children with no child left behind. And the north end of the borough could go to the south end. Children who lived in the zone of Madison had to go to other places. You know, no one came into the picture at that time. But I want to know now that the numbers might be going down a little. Why is that? And the neighborhood is changing, yes, but we all pay taxes too. And I have 4 children who are products of the public school system. PS 194 to mention as well. It didn't matter at that time if there were 25 children in the class. You asked the teacher to take another one. It was against UFT contract. Another thing, sir, is when this school comes in, what happens to the teachers that are on that ground floor of this public school? Where do they go? You have excess teachers of let's say one grade in particular. Where do they go? And what's going on with the UFT with this? And I want to know too, you call it the Hebrew school. Is that a parochial school, so to speak? Do they have their own teachers? Are they going to teach religion? Are you mixing religion, church, and state at the same time? I want to know.
Let's talk about a couple of questions. There were a lot of questions there, and I'm going to try to hit the big points, and you can tell me. Fair enough. Yeah. So you can tell me if I'm getting the points right or not. If you look at the youngsters who attend 278, they go to high schools, by the way, throughout Brooklyn. So I'm going to be a little bit simplistic. But there are high schools, obviously, that are nearby, and one of them is Sheepshead Bay. Now, we actually don't see a lot of youngsters from 278 who end up attending Sheepshead Bay. Some, but not a lot. Not a lot. What you do see is a fair number of youngsters attending programs at Midwood and a fair number of youngsters attending programs at Madison. And you're right, a lesser number, but some at Murrow. And those schools are significantly over-enrolled, and those schools are not neighborhood schools. And that's why, in answer to the gentleman's question, one of the things that I said is that providing a high school in the neighborhood is a win-win for everybody. In answer to some of the other questions, I'm not entirely sure, but I do want to say one thing, and I want to be crystal clear on this. This is a public school system. Charter schools are public schools that are free of any education other than a secular education. We have schools that teach French language. We have schools that teach Russian language. We have schools that teach Spanish language, Cantonese language. This is a dual language charter public school.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you, we're going to do about 7, 8 more questions because there are a host of other agencies here. And obviously their night's going to be the 26th. But I'm going to give you a breakdown right now how we're going. This woman right here with her hand up is next. The woman in the green is after her. The gentleman in the red shirt is after her. The gentleman in the blue shirt is after him. And Bruce Solomon is next. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. All right? I got you on the list. Right here.
I'd like to go back to a couple of points you made earlier. One of the points you made is that with any new school proposal, you must dot every I and cross every T. When they were told in June that the Hebrew Language Academy would have its own dedicated space, and they don't, obviously they've left out some I's and T's. So that proposal has not been fulfilled to the extent that you're saying an arts high school